Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for tuning in today's show. Okay, we are going to be having a fun day today. I thank you guys for tuning in. Keep vibing. If you are tuning in, I thank you for being here today. I would like to let you know that I appreciate you, and to everyone who's currently tuning in, my oh my, do we have a show for you. Sit back, relax. We are coming straight at you. Talking about the big flexer. Yes. So we are live. I thank you guys for being here. We are just getting warmed up, okay? Yep.
Like Fokker, yeah. Pull up in a beam, too much, too clean, young taller. Aye, don't foster. Serious in order. A big time player. Crib too big in Uganda. I went flexer, yeah. Tina said Jimmer, yeah. Too hot like a heater. My neck done froze like winter. Don't bet it on liquor, yeah. Shades told me picture. MJ on the sheet, thriller. Funny vibes every night, enter, non-talagati, Costa, yeah, I can start like Fokker, pull up in a beam, too much, too clean, I'm taller, aye, don't foster, serious in order, yeah, a big time player, a crib too big in Kenya, I went, flexer, yeah, Tina said Jimmer, yeah, too hot like a heater, my neck done froze like winter, don't bet it on, liquor, yeah, Shades told me picture, MJ on the sheet, thriller, funny vibes every night.
I forget. Recupera diverse. To the full set, Otama Yakajet, Lebana Babades. Oh yes, my babies are oh yes. My babies are oh yes. For the future couple don't perion, I don't make a divev. But I forget. Recupera diverse. To the full set, Otama Yakajet, Lebana Babades. Oh yes, my babies are oh yes. My babies are oh yes. For the future couple don't perion, I don't make a divev.
yes, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you what, people are already vibing. You are listening to the sounds of Costa Titch, who hails out of South Africa, and the name of this song is Blig Flexer. All right, we are just warming up. I tell you, I can't get enough of this song, and it actually is inspired me for today's show. Okay, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. This is Costa Titch, hails out of South Africa.
Oh yes, my baby's a oh yes. Oh yes, my baby's a oh yes. For the future couple don't perion, I don't make a diveve. But I forget. Recupela divese. To the full set, Otamayaka jet, Lebana Babades. Oh yes, my baby's a oh yes. Oh yes, my baby's a oh yes. For the future couple don't perion, I don't make a diveve.
Yes. So, yes, you have the right dial. Okay, so for someone who just sent me a message and say, do you have the right dial? What language is he speaking? This is Costa Titch. He hails out of South Africa. Okay, get familiar.
Costa, like Fokker. Pull up in a beam. Too much, too clean, young taller. Don't foster. Serious and daughter. A big time player. Trip too big and ganja. I went flexer, Tina said gym, too hot like a heater. My neck done froze like winter. Don't bet it on liquor, Shay's told me picture. MJ on the sheet, thriller. Funny vibes every night. Enter, Nankalagat, Costa, I can style like Fokker. Pull up in a beam, too much, too clean, I'm taller. Don't foster. Serious and daughter, a big time player. A crib too big and ganja. I went flexer, Tina said gym, too hot like a heater. My neck done froze like winter. Don't bet it on flicker, yeah. Shades told me, picture. MJ on the shit, thriller. Funny vibes every night, enter.
Yes. We are live. Welcome. Yes. Welcome to the One and One Music Review Show. I am happy to be here. Yes, greetings in the name of the Most High. Emperor Haile Selassie is the King of Kings, the Lords of Lords, the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. Blessings, love, and light to my Rastafari family. Itinerary guidance to the masses. I could not do this without you. Yes. Again, I repeat that. Itinerary guidance to the masses. I could not do this without you. Yes, because I appreciate the energy that I get within my little circle, internationally, globally, and just around the world. Okay, wherever you are in the world, I thank you for tuning in and joining us in today's Music Lab. Would like to send a special shout out to all my listeners. Just know that I could not do this without you. And I thank you each and every week for tuning in and lending to me your listening ear. Yes! My oh my, do we have a show for you today? We are going to be vibing with Empress Naphtali, straight out of South Africa, okay? Cape Town, to be correct. And we are also going to be vibing with, we're talking about internationally acclaimed reggae, dancehall, you name it. This man can touch any genre. He is that versatile. We are talking about the incomparable Don Ute, okay? And last but definitely not least, okay, you gotta check out the voice on this artist. We're talking about Torch. Yes, who hails out of Trenchtown, Kingston, Jamaica. All right, sit back, relax, okay? Now, if you're just tuning in for the first time, I am going to give you a rundown of just what it is that we do right here on the One-on-One Music Review Show. All songs included in our One-on-One Music Review are based on the merits of each artist's musical production and not on fan base or record sales. All songs included in the weekly shows are by artist submissions or recommendations by fans. The musical content as included in this show is judged by the quality of the recording, the listener impact, of course, it's the message, creativity, and overall sonic quality. Yes, I am loving it. And I thank everyone who have been reaching out to me across the aisle and giving me support just about everything, Support in terms of my voice, support in terms of mentally and physically to be able to go through the rungs of the industry that I service. I thank you for reaching out each and every time. We're going to jump right into Empress Naphtali, and she'll be up in just a few minutes.
Ebb and flow of life, we rejoice after Everything in unison, nothing is out of place. Our ever-living creator is designator of time and space. We are not without purpose, we come to heal through being healed. All in time, the awareness is revealed.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, this is Empress Naphtali, and she hails out of Cape Town, South Africa. She's going to be on in just a few minutes. Keep vibing.
Nothing is out of place. Our ever-living creator is designator of time and space. We are not without purpose, we come to heal through being healed. All in time, the awareness is revealed. We teach by being humble enough to be taught. These pearls of wisdom can never be bought. Ebb and flow of life, we rejoice after all the strife. Any which way we go, from each lesson we grow. Ebb and flow of life, we rejoice after all the strife. Any which way we go, from each lesson we grow. It is by service of the Holy One who sustains that we able to overstand compassion. By observance of devotion, we attain the glory through pursuing purpose with passion. The Most High uses us all in our own capacity to fulfill His will. So make sure when pouring from the cup, take time to refill. Ebb and flow of life, we rejoice after all the strife. Any which way we go, from each lesson we grow. Ebb and flow of life, we rejoice after all the strife. Any which way we go, from each lesson we grow. We all stem from one divine source that will surely direct our course. When feeling downtrodden and broken, it takes fragments to create a mosaic. This is often left unspoken. Flow of life, we rejoice after all the strife. Any which way we go, from each lesson we grow. Ebb and flow of life, we rejoice after all the strife. Any which way we go, from each lesson we grow. Ebb and flow of life, ebb and flow of life, ebb and flow of life, ebb and flow of life.
Yes, you are vibing to the sounds of Empress Naphtali, and she hails out of Cape Town. Keep vibing, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to tap her in just a few minutes. In just about 60 seconds, actually.
come for you? What you gonna say when the judgment due? Which end of the battlefield are you when Jah come to school? Which end of the battlefield are you when Jah come to school? Even to the perilous days, we have to give thanks and praise. This far we have made is eternal, it's not a place. Many kind of the chart, it leaves them in a daze. Been giving you life as a lassie, eyes grace. Them say choose your battles wisely.
Shout out to Ron out of Montego Bay, who has asked me to pull up this song. All right.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do when Jah come for you? What you gonna say when the judgment due? Which end of the battlefield are you when Jah come to school? Which end of the battlefield are you when Jah come to school? Even to the perilous days, we have to give thanks and praise. This far we have made is eternal, it's not a place. Many kind of the chart, it leaves them in a daze. Been giving you life as a lassie, eyes grace. Them say choose your battles wisely, even though we love, they despise me. Our allegiance is to the Most High with humility and duty. Upon the wings of the angels we fly. On the wings of the angels we fly. What you gonna do when Jah come for you? What you gonna say when the judgment due? Which end of the battlefield are you when Jah come to school? Which end of the battlefield are you when Jah come to school? Jah trample the beast, Ali Selassie stronghold out this beast. Standing up for the ones who are thought of the least. Divinely protected at Neger's feet. I never complain and accept defeat. Hotter lava Babylonians can't stand the heat.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, yes, we have Empress Naphtali in studio. And yes, she's a singer-songwriter, hails out of Western Cape, South Africa. Empress Naphtali, it's a pleasure having you here today. How are you?
Blessed greetings, Empress Rose, Dr. Empress Rose, and to all the listeners, blessed greetings to each one. I am highly blessed, thanks and you, Queen.
Yes, let me tell you. I went in and I was listening to some of your tracks, even from, before this last album that you have just released. And I'm loving the groove. So let's ask you a few more questions to get you acclimated with our general audience that want to know so much about Empress, Naphtali. Tell us about the name.
Empress Naphtali, I chose the name Empress Naphtali because Naphtali is my tribe. I'm a Naphtali, was in the 12 tribes of Israel. Mm-hmm. And I've devoted myself to being as humble, devoted, and navigated to the chart of Rastafari as an empress would, as empress meaning herself is the example. So it was just for me to follow in that kind of example. But Naphtali means so much to me as a messenger, as a tribe of love, as a person that brings forth the goodly word, as it even states in the Bible, So for me, it's about bringing a positive message that also uplifts and spreads consciousness to people. So that's Empress Naphtali.
I love it. Talk to me about let's talk about the years getting started into music. You really started, taking it professionally, I would say around 2012, or were you actually recording before that time?
I was recording before that time as an R&B artist when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. But when I started writing Rastafari, obviously everything changed. The mission kind of changed to transitioning into reggae music because I felt it was like a vehicle and a message from Rastafari. So when I started rising in Rastafari, I transitioned into reggae. That was in 2012. I started rising in 2011, and in 2012 I officially started with the reggae music with my first single titled Trying Times, and then in 2015 I released my debut EP album From the Heart, And then in 2019, I released my full album, my first full album titled Evergreen. And this year I released my third album, Ebb Flow. So it's been a decade of just being on the journey, being on the chart. Yeah.
Do you remember the first song you wrote?
The first song, the thing is, I've always been writing songs since I was in high school. I was always writing lyrics. Like, by nature, I'm a scribe, I'm a writer. I used to write short stories, poetry. I even wrote a play when I was in high school. So writing is something that I can't exactly pinpoint which song exactly, because I've always been writing. So, yes, I'm very passionate about writing. I feel it's a good vehicle of expressing yourself and expressing truths that you may not be able to utter to another person, but to really channel something that is of depth of the being, you know?
Now, your preferred genre, is it reggae music, or do you dabble in other genres as well?
My preferred genre right now, my sister, is strictly reggae music. I do dub, I try to do a little bit of conscious dancehall, but I'm really a roots and culture daughter, a dub type of artist. I really gravitate more towards that strictly, you know? And I feel it's something that fits well with the kind of style I have. So I give thanks for that, to kind of find my place within the reggae fraternity or the reggae industry. I've really been a roots reggae artist, a dub artist. So that's the journey that I'm on.
Okay. Between the 2012 to 2022, you have released how many albums?
I have released 3 albums.
3?
And yes, released 3 albums. And I'm busy working on my 4th album that will be out next year. So I'm really trying now to keep the momentum going with putting out more work. You know, I also voice a lot of compilation or rhythm projects. So there's a lot of singles that are also out there that I voice. So yeah, that's what it's been like so far. But I'm really trying to push the momentum to get at least good quality music, not just the quantity of music, but good quality music out there, you know, that really stands the test of time. That's kind of my aim, to really make timeless music, not just for the quantity of having a whole heap of catalog, but there are only a few that are, how can I say, of substance.
Now, what would you say in terms of all the projects that you have, distributed thus far? What is your more accomplished project out of all your 3 albums? You know, thinking of the work or what you had to go through in order to bring it to life, and that you're most proud of, I should say.
Wow, that's a difficult question.
We do difficult here, yes.
No, but I can definitely answer. I feel like each album shows a level of growth. Definitely a level of growth. If I go back to From the Heart and I go to Evergreen and now Ebb Flow, I feel the one that's gaining the most traction is Ebb Flow is really doing well so far. I released it on the 19th of August and it's been receiving a lot of positive feedback so far. It's really a great testament to the growth that I've achieved as an artist. I would say Evergreen has always been an album for me that opened the gateway towards the international sphere. That's definitely one thing that I can say about the Evergreen album, because it really, really opened those doors. But Ebb Flow for me right now is something that is a testament to the growth and also the quality of the message, the quality of the sound. It was a really international collaborative process. You know, we worked with, I worked with producers from Jamaica, engineers from Jamaica. I worked with producers from Malawi, from different parts of the world, the USA as well. It was produced as well from a producer from the USA. So it was really an international collaborative piece, which I give thanks, to have worked with such mighty warriors in the industry. So I'm really excited about what doors it can really open further.
Well, I tell you what, the audience is really loving your style and they're loving what they have heard thus far. So, the doors are wide open. Well, I'm going to jump to one of your other tracks, and I'm going to come back with some questions from our audience as well.
All right.
Through the hard times, we always stand firm, trusting the highest of high. All blessings we earn by deepest reverence. The greatest wisdom we learn when we observant. We are able to discern the most eyes unfailing for I and I. This reality one cannot defy or deny. In the turbulent hour, remember who heard your cry. The one who saves us from those who seek our demise. The complete reveal of truth beyond all lies. One cannot contest the might and power of our Creator. Be in alignment with the supreme godly nature. Through the hard times, we always stand firm, trusting the highest of high. All blessings we earn by deepest reverence. The greatest wisdom we learn when we observant. We are able to discern. Through the hard times, we always stand firm, trusting the highest of high. All blessings we earn by deepest reverence. The greatest wisdom we learn when we observant. We are able to discern. Be aware of those surrounding you. Some claim to come in peace yet seek to slew. Fear not, because the Most High knows the hearts of all beings. Trust the frequency of all intuitive feelings. Follow the guidance from the ancient of days in all your dealings. Through the hard times, we always stand firm, trusting the highest of high. All blessings we earn by deepest reverence. The greatest wisdom we learn when we observant. We are able to discern. Through the hard times, we always stand firm, trusting the highest of high. All blessings we earn by deepest reverence. The greatest wisdom we learn when we observant. We are able to discern.
To be reverent is to really just be in a humble state of hailing him, because everything he does for us is for our highest good.
So, actually what just happened, I asked you that question, and I'm going to ask you to repeat what you said. This is what happened. I came back on air and I didn't remember to punch the button. So you were talking, and then one of my listeners was like, "Rose, we are not hearing any music." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I looked on my phone, realizing that, wait a second, we are actually muted. So I will ask you the question again to my audience.
Okay.
To my precious audience, I thank you for staying, in contact with me, because otherwise you'll be back here talking for a while and didn't realize it. So the question I had for you was Deepest Reverence, the song that was playing to our listening audience. It's one of my favorites. It's the track that actually caught my attention right away. Tell us about Deepest Reverence, and the music. Tell us about the message of the song.
Yes, so Deepest Reverence is a song really about being reverent in the Most High, because of his unfailing nature. Throughout life's challenges, throughout life's victories, he's always there and always sustains I and always provides a provision for I. So we have to hail him, we have to praise him, we have to give thanks to him, and be humble in our service of him, because in serving him, we serve each other as his children. And we have to always hold a reverence for him, hold a space of highest honor and respect for him, because he's the one that sees us through every tribulation. He's the one that sees us through every victory. So I now have to give thanks and be reverent in him.
And I'm not sure if different persons have different religion and different beliefs,
Of course,
you know.
of course. So whichever way you serve the Most High, basically, be reverent in that practice. Be reverent in your spirituality. Be reverent in your beliefs of how you connect to the divine. That is also the message behind it. Because even in the song, I say the highest of high. Whoever you revere as the highest of high, as the Most High, as the Creator, as Almighty, you do that in reverence. Yeah.
For myself, it is that, by tradition, I've been doing this for years, as long as I can remember, since I was in primary school, where it is that I fast at least 1 day per week. And it's something that, over time it is that it's routine for myself, but it's a little bit more than routine, because you get to step away from the world, so to speak, and to have that one-on-one with the Most High. Is it within yourself? Do you practice fasting and praying? That is something that I do for myself twice a week or once per week, and I usually do it on the days that I'm off, both days, or 1 day out of the 2 days that I'm off. Is it something that you practice as well?
I do practice fasting. And I do practice a lot of prayer work, a lot of spiritual prayer work. I'm a person that's always putting my mind to being in communication with the Most High. In my thoughts, in my deed, in my action, in whether it's fasting, whether it's praying, or whether it's just a meditation within I heavens, just to be always glorifying and giving thanks. I feel it's important for the type of music that I make to have a relationship that is strong with the Most High, because I see myself as a person who is just a conduit for his messages. So it's very important to have a kind of spiritual practice where I just spend time with him alone. You understand?
Yes, yes. And one of the reasons I said that is like when I listen to deepest reverence, it gives me that high in terms of going into, my weekly fasting and praying. That's a song that I most definitely would encourage. Sometimes we need a little bit of encouragement as well. Deepest reverence is that song for me. As we talk about reggae music, and that you have actually collaborated or you have worked with various producers in different parts of the world. If the producer that you have worked with in Jamaica, is it solely for reggae music, or have you tapped into other reggae genre? Like, not necessarily to say there's trap dancehall, there's dancehall and other parts of it. However, for yourself, you're saying that your interest and what fits your caliber is just reggae music?
Mm-hmm. So
Go ahead.
So the next album that I'm working on is a very dab album. So I'm working with the same producer that I worked with for Ebb Flow. We just loved working with and the work that we put together. So he approached me and we reasoned about doing a next album together. But this is like a real dub feel. So I'm very excited about this one because a lot of people here in South Africa see me as a dub artist. So
I get that vibe as well. Yes.
Yeah, so to navigate into that, I'm very excited about it because it really brings about a different kind of sound, but in a kind of rootical way that I am very passionate about, to be very rootical about the mission. So I'm grateful that we're still doing work together, and we'll see what's going to manifest in the future. If there's any other producers that would like to work with me, I am more than willing and more than able, and I give thanks because I really love productivity and putting out positive words, sound power there into this universe, into this world that we live in, you know?
I love it. Um, who are your influences in terms of not just reggae music, but who are the persons who influence the music that you do?
So one of the artists that influenced me majorly, I must say, when I started rising in Rastafari, I was listening to a compilation and I heard Desiree's Most High. Um, it was like a compilation of male artists, and here's this angelic voice from this woman, and I'm like, who is this? It really inspired me. Like some people in South Africa say, I'm the South African Desiree, which is a humble honor for sure. I'm not trying to be like her, but there's similarities in the sound. I'm grateful for that. She is an inspiration to me. Um, I was also listening to a lot of Queen Africa. I was listening to a lot of Queen Omega as well. I was listening to a lot of the feminine voices within the reggae industry because that's where I feel we need to draw inspiration and you know, males draw inspiration from each other. So why not us as female artists draw inspiration from one another as well? Because we are I'm not saying we're too few, but we're growing on this journey of being within the reggae industry. So it's nice to be able to honor each other's work and to respect each other's work. So not only like I was listening to a lot of soul music, you know, listening to India, Lauryn Hill, um, back then, and but like my influences definitely would have been within the feminine circle of the reggae industry as well.
I love it, love it. Um, if you had to collaborate with an artist out of Jamaica, who are your top three choices?
Okay, my top three choices would be Janine. Um, my second one
Take it.
would would be definitely Kabaka Pyramid. And then my third one would be I'd love to do something with Queen Africa. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can reach out to them at some point, and I'm sure the producers that you're working with as well. Wow, me one of these days where you'll reach out to me and say, Empress Rose, guess what? I have a collaboration with one of the artists, one of my top three. That would, yes, that would be awesome. Now, locally within South Africa, who is your favorite artist?
Locally within South Africa, who is my favorite artist? Um, within the reggae music?
It doesn't have to be reggae now.
Okay. Locally, one of my favorite artists is Lyra. And she's an amazing vocalist.
Yeah,
Um,
familiar with her as well.
Miss Lyra, Zahara, and she's also one of my favorites. And I'm gonna say one of my sisters, and she's also a favorite of mine, Leslie Ann. She's a favorite of mine for sure. She's also within the reggae industry. And Empress Hotep. These are like women within my sphere that I really full joy listening to their sound, watching them perform. I think they're very positive artists. Who else? Wow, there's the list is the list.
Well, it's
The
kind of
list
it's
is
kind of great that you do have an appreciation for so many of your local artists. From time to time, I have interviews and where I've asked artists about their local artists, and I get one or two. Yes, but
yeah.
it just shows how comfortable you are, and you're not, necessarily worried about the next artist, but it's more of a camaraderie that in terms of music itself. That's the spirit that you exhume to myself.
Definitely, I'm a type of person. We rise by lifting others. You know, you don't just rise and compete and backbite. I'm very about unity. You know, is strength. And I feel as females within the industry, we have to be very supportive of one another because it's a very cutthroat industry on its own. And we don't need to have like a nature of just being competitive. We need to mission the mission together, you know, and strengthen one another on the journey. I'm very pro that because I feel it's difficult enough to make it in this industry, but to also be backbiting and backsliding and down pressing one another, I don't feel that's the way forward. You know, we gotta do it as one. We gotta rise as one because definitely our voices need to be heard. You know, our wisdoms need to be shared, and we need to be cultivating one another and nurturing one another on the journey instead of just checking what the next one is doing and trying to compete with it because each one of us has a role to fulfill. Each one of us has a purpose, and we have to encourage and motivate one another to fulfill that purpose. It's not just about competition, it's about really fulfilling the mission, you know?
I love it. I love it. Now, with this awesome album, yeah, very ambitious in terms of the number of tracks as well. Um, what is the local reception been like for this new release, recent release?
The local reception has been good. It has been good so far. I'm going to be doing a lot more performances, so more of the body of work can be out there for people to hear. But I've been receiving a lot of positive feedback about the album. A lot of people are saying it shows my versatility and it shows, um, even though it's 15 tracks on the album, which is a very bold thing to do,
Yes.
but each one has its power. Each one carries its own power. Each one carries its own message and beauty. That nothing falls short from the album. Like if you really take your time to just put the music on, listen to the album, you'll find that each one has beauty in it. You know that can really be appreciated for sure. You know, I even listen to it sometimes myself, and I'm like, no, it's not to
Yeah.
blow my own horn, but it's something that really it's something that can get you through the day. You know, like if you really just take time to listen, because each one has their message that is for the different faculties of your being, for your spiritual self, for your mental self, your emotional self. You know, it's about a healing, it's about a strengthening, it's about a teaching, it's a wisdom being shared. So 15 tracks was very ambitious indeed, but I feel 15 tracks of something that can really carry you through the journey, whether you're going through a difficult time and you listen to the album, you really gather strength, you know, because that's what I try to do with my music, to come from a place of empowering people through the word sound power, through the message, through the melody, through the message being brought forward to the people, you know.
And I must admit that with listening to the album, I get the vibe that you wrote the songwriting, the production of the music was based on upliftment. As I, had an opportunity to go through each and every track and to know more about you as well in terms of what your craft is as well. But the melodies and the lyrics, it conveys a universal message, the universal message of reggae, of being, one, and actually uplifting others as well, to, making them want to listen and know more about yourself as an artist. So yes, I really appreciate that. I appreciate listening to to the album myself as well. On the international front, have you been doing like media interviews, or do you plan on actually doing a tour on the album?
Give thanks, Queen, for the positive words that you just uttered upon the works. Well, in terms of the international front, I have been doing quite a few interviews. The radio has been receiving a lot of airplay within the UK, in Europe. Um, I recently did an interview with Cultural Mix in Jamaica. It was actually a very powerful interview. It was an amazing opportunity to be able to reason with people from Jamaica. It was an honor for sure, you know.
Yeah.
Looking into a tour, I definitely would love to do a tour internationally, but we'll have to navigate everything around making that a possibility. But it's one of the things that I definitely want to be a partake in, you know, because I've got a lot of music, you know, I've got a lot of messages that need to be spread globally. It's not just about keeping it here in South Africa. I'm doing a lot of performances during the course of the end of the year within South Africa, and I'm very grateful to be a part of like festivals that are local, but I really try to push myself to a level of getting the sound out there internationally, because reggae is a global movement, you know, it's a universal movement. So if there are promoters out there listening, link I up.
They are listening.
Link I up. I'm willing and I'm able. Link I up. You know, it would be a great honor to be able to relay the messages to a broader audience, to a broader universal sphere, you know, because we try to create music that is universal. We try to create music that does uplift the masses. That's not just about one individual, it's about the collective, you know, and it's a frequency that we put out into this world to kind of uplift and empower the collective, you know. It's for it's for I and I, it's for all of us. So that's what I see when I even write the music. I don't just write about myself. I don't just write about me. I write about we. I write about us. I write about how we are going to be empowered, how we're going to be victorious, how we're going to overcome, how we're going to heal, you know, because it's a collective effort, you know. Yeah.
Yes. Loving it, loving it. So what's next for you?
So next I have on the 2nd of November, my brand new music video for one of my tracks on the album is coming out, titled Mama Africa Calling. It will be released on the 2nd of November. And then I have another video that's due to be released in 2023 for the song titled Meant to Be. It's a Lovers Rock album, a Lovers Rock song, sorry. It's my first Lovers Rock song, so I'm hoping it will be well received. So the title of it is Meant to Be. And I have performances lined up from November till December. So, and I'm also working on my 4th album right now. I'm busy voicing that. I'm voicing 2 projects for 2 rhythm compilations as well. So there's always works to be made manifest, and works to forward with, and works to complete, you know. And yeah, that's what's happening in the Empress Naphtali universe.
Well, definitely when I'm in South Africa, I'm going to look you up and to see if I could come by your studio and I could lend you a few bars for whatever you have going on there.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, I would love that. Yes, I would love that. I would love that.
Yes. Speaking of Mama Africa, that's the song that we're going to vibe out with. But before I vibe out with Mama Africa, I'm giving you the next few minutes to do your shout outs, and you can tell everyone where they can locate you on the social media platforms.
Okay. I just like to send a shout out to each and every beloved soul that's tuned in, and to each and every soul that is within this human community. I don't want to be impartial. I want to say shout out to I want to say shout out to Hits After Hits Records, Dwayne Samuel Mattis, Cloudix Music. I'd like to shout out Achola Gongulia. I'd like to shout out all the people that have been supporting the journey, and to all the new supporters even still. People can reach me On Facebook, I have a Facebook page. It's Empress Naphtali. Empress is Empress, right? And on Instagram, I'm at Empress Naphtali 7, also spelled Naphtali 7. And I'm on TikTok. I'm trying to get into the TikTok as well, Empress Naphtali 7. And for bookings, people can reach out to me at empressnaftalibookings@gmail.com. And all my music is available on all the major digital platforms: YouTube, Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music. So it's Empress Naphtali on those platforms. I've got 2 channels. One is for all the music and one is for the music videos. So please do subscribe to the channels, Empress Naphtali, Naphtali. Yes.
It's been a pleasure having you come through. Now, do you want to set up Mama Africa for our listening audience?
Wow, Mama Africa is a song about, it's not just about repatriation for those that are abroad. It's really a song of tapping into the energy. You know, Africa is the root of humanity.
Yes.
And when Africa calls her children, she's calling them to rise in their power, to stand in their strength. She's calling them to heal. She's calling them to nurture them. She's calling them to empower them from the shackles that Babylon has put on, or any oppressive, down-oppressive system has put upon them. It's a calling of coming back to your roots, coming back to yourself, coming back to who you inherently created to be. Because Africa is the root of humanity, so it exists within all of humanity. Yes, Mama Africa calling.
Okay. I thank you for being here. Okay. And of course, with new projects, you can always reach out and we welcome you to come through at any time. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Empress Naphtali, and you are going to be listening to Mama Africa calling right now.
Give thanks, Empress. Give thanks.
Blessed love.
Mama Africa is calling. Mystery Babylon is falling. Children of Zion answering. Haile Selassie, I the one commanding. Mama Africa is calling. Mystery Babylon is falling. Children of Zion answering. Haile Selassie, I the one commanding. Standing firm in these Armageddon times. Never fret, the anthrax will pay for their crimes. Ancestral greatness coursing through our veins. How mighty it is when Jah takes the reins. The separation implemented on the roots of humanity. We'll be champions after enduring the brutality. Propagating slavery. Even in these times of maternity, Mama Africa is calling. Mystery Babylon is falling. Children of Zion answering. Haile Selassie, I the one commanding. Mama Africa is calling. Mystery Babylon is falling. Children of Zion answering. Haile Selassie, I the one commanding. We remember who we are when we let go of who it is we were taught to be. By those who never really want our innate power to reign freely. Shine your light, shine it bright. Children of the Most High is our purest delight. Go through him, the shackles that have been imposed will be broken when Babylon is deposed. Mama Africa is calling. Mystery Babylon is falling. Children of Zion answering. Haile Selassie, I the one commanding. Mama Africa is calling. Mystery Babylon is falling. Children of Zion.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was Empress Naphtali. And yes, Empress Naphtali is still listening. So yes, you are getting shout outs from across various parts of the world, okay? We have Manson out of Europe that's saying he loved the vibe, he loved your sound and everything. We have out of Jamaica, we have Arlene Stamper saying blessings, sending out blessings to you as well. We have Mark out of Anova that's saying he loved, you're very articulate in your responses and he really loved, the vibe of the album and just what it is that you're able to bring through as well. Various persons across the world. That's how you know you're doing something, Empress Naphtali. So keep on walking in that light and follow exactly your dreams and what it is that you like to do. I love the album itself. So today I'm going to be giving away 5 copies. So for persons needing a copy of the album, please reach out to me and I will make it happen. All right. Next up, we have Don Ute. We're going to be connecting with him in just a few minutes.
Mystery Babylon is falling. Children of Zion answering. And it's a lassie I the one commanding.
As always, we are here. We aim to please, and we do not disappoint. So for all the persons who are reaching out to me and saying, Empress Rose, you're back, you have your voice, how are things going? Shout out to you as well. Now, my voice is not 100% back, but I'm happy for what it is that I have, and I'm working through it as well. Yes, that was Empress Naphtali. And when we are talking about an empress who exudes positive energy, that's what it's all about. She did not disappoint at all. I would like you guys to go in and to check her out across her social media platforms. That's Empress Naphtali, Naphtali. Okay? Check her out and give her some shout outs to let her know that you heard her on the One-on-One Music Review Show. But of course it is, as always, we do not disappoint. And we are going to have next up